greatest country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Oh man! Good morning, everybody.
Should have done it.
He totally should have done it.
Wait, should I do it? Should I do it?
Yeah. So we had technical difficulties because the camera, as soon as the intro was done, was going to pan to Graham's chair. Let's show Graham's chair, if we can. Yeah, Graham's not here. Sorry again. This is just one of those episodes, guys, where you're just stuck with me. I know. Yeah, absolutely. I know that there's not anybody more excited about me hosting the show than Royce, because I mean I am the wild child of the group.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
He loves it. You know, he comes in and he's like throwing stuff and kicking his cat and
I just
Oh, wow. Kicking the cat.
Yeah, so if you watch yesterday's episode, Graham was coming down with the flu. It got a little better overnight, but not good enough for him to be in studio right now. So, before we get started, everybody say a quick prayer for Graham that, he jumps on his feet, and he will. But with him having asthma, any sickness, flu, pneumonia, anything like that is a lot more dangerous for him, which scares me, honestly, as his friend. So prayers to Graham, buddy. I know you're watching, and I hope you bounce back really quick because we need you here. I mean, that's just the truth. We need you here. But you guys are stuck with me, but you're also you are stuck with not Mexican cartel COVID surviving Tony.
COVID survivor.
Thank you. I appreciate all the names that you just keep tagging onto my name.
You're welcome.
Yep.
And of course, producer Royce.
My music is too cool. I think I need to change it.
You have to change
I
your
like
what?
it. I like it. And of course, apparently everybody's favorite redneck. I am your host today, Hot Seat Todd. Good morning, everybody. Hope you all slept well. For the first time in like 9 days, I got a full night's sleep, so I am raring to go. We have a huge show for you guys, and it's very sad that Graham can't be here because big news literally just broke while we were getting ready and counting down.
Yeah, just right before the show. Yep.
Timothy Walz is the vice presidential nominee for Kamala Harris. That is the governor of Minnesota. And so all I can say at this point, we'll talk about it more later, is thank you, Kamala, because this is an epic fail on like biblical proportions.
Here,
This dude.
Should I do that? Here.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Kamala.
Kamala.
Like, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for picking this dude because he is a turd on several levels. So I don't really see this helping her cause.
He is a turd that they are trying to polish.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
But
we'll talk about him in a bit.
before we do, let's jump into our first sponsor, and that is Patriot Mobile. Ladies and gentlemen, Americans are tired and frustrated by a stalling economy, inflation, endless wars, and the relentless assault on our values. Thankfully, there are companies like Patriot Mobile that still believe in America and our Constitution. We here at Dear America are proud to partner with Patriot Mobile because they're on the front lines fighting for the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, our military and first responder heroes. So take a stand for conservative causes and put America first by switching to Patriot Mobile today. You'll get the same nationwide coverage as all the big providers because Patriot Mobile operates across all three networks. They even have this cool little thing called Patriot Mobile One where you can switch. If you're in an AT&T network, you can pop AT&T towers. If you're in Verizon, you can pop Verizon towers. All you have to do is go to patriotmobile.com/Graham. That's patriotmobile.com/Graham. But if you use the code Graham, that's GRAHAM, you get free activation. Guys, go with Patriot Mobile today. So, let's get this thing started, shall we?
Rock and roll. Yep.
First off, what we got first, Royce?
We've got the Aiden Ross live stream.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. I'm old. Royce actually has called me a boomer before, and if I'm a boomer, Tony is like extra boom.
You and Tony aren't that far apart, right?
Yeah, we're some years.
Are you?
Yeah, we're some
I am
years.
the old man of the group, Royce.
He is.
I
Oh,
realized
okay.
yesterday I am 364 days now from being the big 50, man.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is
Yeah,
creeping up.
dad was the
Tony is
big
like
50.
9 years older than me. But anyway, I have to admit, I did not even know who this dude was. I had no clue
I
who
didn't
Aiden
either,
Ross
honestly. I
was.
didn't either.
I still
So,
don't really know who he is.
you want some
And
background?
yeah,
Please, yeah,
give it.
explain it
By
to
all
us,
So
means.
Aiden Ross is a streamer on a platform called Kick. Kick is mainly for like video game streaming. So he'll bring friends on and he'll do games, and he also does like gambling online. I don't watch him actively, but he's an entertaining dude. So I see clips of him all the time, and I had the chance to meet him one time as well, which was a cool experience. And he just did the biggest stream in history for Kick, I believe. I
Wow.
Yeah.
don't think in history of the world, but for Kick, there was close to, if not a million people watching. When I hopped on, there was like 700,000 people watching this live stream.
Mhm.
And that was in the beginning of it. And they went on to do some cool stuff. But this clip right here, and this is all set up like how his stream looks. Same angle. Obviously, it's at, I think, Mar-a-Lago. But this is how his stream looks. He'll bring a friend on and they'll sit and it just looks like this. It's not the most professional. But this is when Trump like entered the room. It was pretty epic,
Yeah, he
I
came
guess.
into 50 Cent, which was epic. Let's just play it because I'm excited thinking about it.
It's totally gonna be copyright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here he is, the man. I love how he brought an audience. I think that's.
Sometimes he walks in like he's strutting, man.
Oh yeah.
I love how he stopped and he was like, y'all gonna stand or what?
So that's him coming into the stream. It was an epic moment for streaming culture. Streaming culture, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. A lot of things are happening.
Now, this was my favorite video of all the clips right here. This was great. This was great. So he gets to do the Trump dance with Donald Trump, which is like on my bucket list. So
That's on your bucket list?
That's on my bucket list to do the Trump dance with Donald Trump. That is absolutely on my bucket dance. I mean,
Here.
bucket list. Bucket dance.
Bucket dance?
Bucket dance on my bucket list. So let's play this clip.
I think they were filming a TikTok.
Yeah,
but
they were filming a TikTok
It is just epic.
to the music.
The people's president. As they
Yeah,
would
it was
say.
great. It was great. But the only thing I can say about this, because I didn't know who this dude was, I didn't know what Kick was, is this dude is just for people, man. Like, I mean, for him to go on and do this and sit down with this young man on Kick, this just shows you what kind of person he is and what kind of president he is. He is a people first person. Like, he's relatable. He seems like he's very approachable. And I mean, the problem right now is apparently everybody that's Royce's age or younger, they're the ones that are watching this young fella.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are watching him. Me, Tony, my generation, we don't even know who he is.
But your kids do. That's,
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe.
and
I don't
that's
know.
who's
Yeah.
voting. That's who's coming up to
Yeah,
vote.
exactly. So they see him, and I'm sure Aiden spun him in a humanitarian type way, a human regular dude. So kudos to the president. Like that was a really good idea. Whoever come up with that, very smart. But Aiden did something that, I mean, we've seen Trump for what, 8-10 years now at this point, or 8-10 years in politics.
In politics.
I've never seen anybody give Trump anything. I have to be
Really?
honest with you. No, not
He's
like
been,
this.
He's been given gifts. He's been given Rolexes in the past, and other things as well. And so Aiden Ross gave him a Rolex too. But on top of the Rolex, he gave him something else that was quite special. Should we just play the clip?
Gave the man a car.
A car.
Like a car, a Cybertruck. And not
Not just a
just
car.
any Cybertruck. This thing was, I mean, I still wouldn't drive it. But
Graham's texting us. Oh, which
Yeah.
actually I can pull up the clip, but apparently Barron is the one who convinced Trump to do the stream,
That's
there you
very
go.
smart.
which
That's
makes
very
sense.
smart,
And I know
yeah.
that on the stream he
Yep.
mentioned that Barron says this is a big deal and all this stuff.
Well, it is. And to your point, Royce, I didn't know who Aiden was either. The only reason I knew who he is because my wife's best friend, her son watches him for gaming stuff, and I didn't
Bingo.
up until last night. I had no idea who he was. But again, I'm going on 50 years old. I don't sit around and
Yeah.
film myself while I'm gaming or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's very smart to try to reach out to the younger voters. So yeah.
Yeah, and if very very smart move on Barron's part, getting his dad in front of the younger generation. Huge. That'll play well.
This is Trump receiving this legendary cyber. So that's him
Dude,
receiving the vehicle.
Yeah, that's just great stuff, man. And that's the car itself with the Trump fight on the side. He'll probably never drive it, but I mean
he's not allowed to drive anymore, right? Since he was a president.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, he's not the
I
president
don't think
right
you're
now.
allowed to. You have to be driven by like Secret Service.
You know what they're gonna do with that truck? They're gonna take it all around the country and make it a point to put it wherever their rallies are. Just stick it on the front.
It better be bulletproof.
He should, the back of the truck you can stand on. He should do a rally on the bed of the truck.
Yeah, that
like the bed cover that rolls out, you can stand on top of it.
That rap they did is really awesome. Look at, I mean,
very good.
Yeah, it's
very
really
good. And that right there is just an epic photo. Like we threw that photo in there because it's just great. I mean, you can't. Oh, it's such a good photo.
My generation is looking at this photo and we love it because this is the type of content that we watch, and this is the president that we want. This is the coolest collab in history for us. Along with even when Trump did the interview with Logan Paul, like I might not be the biggest fan of Logan Paul nowadays, but I grew up watching, Logan and Jake Paul's vlogs and their vines and all that stuff. And so to see that my childhood being involved in politics is a very good thing for my generation.
Yeah, see, and that's great to hear because
Royce, you gotta have the youngest. Like that.
You're obviously the youngest one on the show here. It's great to hear that your generation and people like you that you watch people like Aiden is great to hear feedback that what he's doing is reaching out to people of your age, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because we got to be honest, and we got to be honest with ourselves. No, like 15 to 21-year-old is logging into Rumble to listen to us old people. Like they're just not. I mean, now there are exceptions. Free is an exception, but he's probably the only teenager in the chat. Like,
let us know in the chat.
Yeah,
are you under
21 or 20? Yeah, for the chat, that's a good one. Is
I'm gonna
anybody
get on there.
Here
yes, I am under
25 years old? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Maybe 2, possibly, maybe. But we got another sponsor. But before we do, listen, do not forget to smash that like button, as the Aidens of the world would say. Smash that like button. Go and leave us a comment in the actual comment section. We're watching the chat right now. And speaking of the chat, super questions. Get your super questions in, $5 or more. We'll read your question live on the show towards the end of the hour, and we'll do the best we can. And throw us a follow, by the way. That way you know when we're going live, because when breaking news happens, we just jump on and start talking about it. And wouldn't you like to be notified if we do it? So hit the follow button. So let's get into our next sponsor, which that is the Wellness Company. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we do not have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. Pharmaceutical companies are making billions, and yes, that's billions with a B, every single year off of sick Americans, which means Big Pharma needs you to be sick to be reliant on them. Just ask Graham. That's why we're showing his picture right now, because he's in the bed sick, and I promise you, he is using this emergency kit by the Wellness Company. Designed by elite doctors, including Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Drew Pinsky, these prescription kits have emerged as a keystone of many American families' emergency preparedness plans. Save thousands of dollars in unplanned hospital visits. Be ready for the next thing with the Wellness Company's medical emergency kit, containing 8 life-saving medications, including ivermectin, amoxicillin, and a Z-Pack, plus a guidebook to aid in the safe use of these life-saving medications. All you have to do is go to twc.health/Graham. That's twc.health/Graham. Use the code Graham, that's GRAHAM, at checkout, and it'll save you 10% plus free shipping. Go to the Wellness Center right now, guys. Check them out. That's good stuff. Graham's probably using that right now, and that is how Tony beat COVID. So
that is. Someone asked in the chat if Graham's in the hospital. He's not.
No, he's not in the hospital.
He's just at home sick.
Yeah, he's home. He's home sick, actually protecting himself and protecting Tony.
That's right. Thank you, Graham. I appreciate you not coming to the office.
And as always, anytime it's us three doing a show without Graham, it just goes to show you that the dude, he trusts us enough to take off and take a sick day and trust us to carry the torch for him. So we're not going to let him down. Let's move on to the next topic of conversation, which is what?
Secret Service wanting to cover up some cocaine stuff.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, are we surprised? So
I wonder who the cocaine belonged to.
Yeah, for real. And I actually read a tweet not long before we got on the show, but I'll read this one real quick. Former Secret Service chief wanted to destroy White House cocaine evidence. Cheadle and top leaders attempted to destroy cocaine found in the White House last summer. The Secret Service forensic team and uniform division refused, leading to a heated confrontation. One officer was removed from the case after insisting on following investigative protocols. The discovery posed a problem for Cheadle, who resigned for an assassination attempt on Trump. And I dug into this a little bit further. There are reports out there now that the evidence was already destroyed, and they had a biological match on the evidence itself. I wonder who that was. Shocker.
To be a fly on the wall at the White House with all the former presidents, I mean, can you imagine all the stuff that the Secret Service has to cover up with? I mean, just think about JFK and all the womanizing he was doing and, sneaking people in and out of the White House at all hours of the night, him and his brother. It's just,
well, there's a fine line between covering up infidelity and covering up felony. I mean, there's the one place in America that you shouldn't be able to get cocaine in is the White House.
I think there's more than one place.
I know there's more than one, but if I can think of one place that I'm not taking drugs to, that would be the White House.
Yeah, but but are we surprised though? Because the Secret Service is supposed to protect their people at all costs, no matter if they're being either they're cheating, doing drugs, or even covering up a murder. I bet they've done so much stuff that we don't know about in there. It's just,
ain't no doubt about that.
It blows your mind.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt about that. But listen, we'll say it. We all know it was Hunter's. That's the only person that could have got it in. Period. That's the only person that could have got it in. And I'm not going to say he was the only person that's using the drug, but come on, guys. If it quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, smells like a duck, it's not an octopus.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter sent the Secret Service out to go pick up his drugs. Said, "Hey, man, go pick up my stuff. I don't want to leave. I'm high already. Go get my stuff."
Yeah. Well, moving on to a story that is aggravating a lot of us in the chat right now and across the country, to our veterans and the members of the military that watch our show. Iran popped al-Assad last night, which housed American troops in Iraq. So far, after everybody I've been able to get on the horn with, everybody I will talk to, the report is right now that there are multiple injuries. There's not been a number attached to it yet from what I said. And you got to understand, DOD first thing has to notify the families through the American Red Cross, and that unfortunately can take time. Mm-hmm. But everything I've read and every phone call I've made says that there are at least 2 that are passed. So prayers for those military members. But several U.S. personnel have been injured in a rocket attack against a U.S. military base in Iraq, according to Reuters. And we've got Joe Biden at the helm right now. Absolutely. Todd, God help us.
Todd, question for you.
Yeah.
Do we not have anti-air defense or anti-missile defense in those bases or whatnot?
We do, but they're not as when you think of missile defense, you think Iron Dome, Patriot missile, things like that. Not every post has that kind of stuff, and you got to understand that these people are not just getting popped like the rockets. That's a rare thing. Mm-hmm. Mortars, things like that. That's probably a daily. Honestly, that's probably a daily. So we do have things out there that can track incoming and fire artillery shells back automatically. I mean, it's instantaneous. But those are primarily for like incoming mortars and stuff like that. But for this kind of stuff, no, not every post has that. Not every FOB, forward operating base, has those things. And you have to remember that we have probably given, I would say, 75 to 80% of our Patriot missile ammunition to Ukraine. So
that was my next comment. How are our bases not covered 100% when they're in that region? But we have the ability to give Ukraine billions of dollars and sending them F-16s and whatnot. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, the bigger question for me is, why are we still in Iraq?
True. Yep.
I mean, that for me, that's the bigger question. Mate, why are we still sitting and have troops on the ground in Iraq? That war's been over for a very long time. Listen, I understand having operating bases in Germany, Europe, throughout Europe and things like that. But putting soldiers in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, places like that, you're just asking for it. I mean, you just are. You're asking for it. That is a section of the world that is never, all right, hear me when I say it, never going to see peace. It's never going to happen. It's biblical. They're never going to be at peace. All right. We left Iraq and Afghanistan. Right now, it is just as bad as it was before we left. That's why you have so many pissed off veterans right now, because I know myself, I spent 16 months the first time, 14 months the second time. And for what? A lot of us veterans are looking in the mirror going, for what? Why did we do this? Nothing has changed, but here we are. So just for a second, I want to take just a quick moment of silence for the soldiers that have possibly lost their lives and for the ones that are injured. So just a quick moment of silence for our troops. Okay, guys, thank you. And we will pray for them later. Absolutely, we'll pray for them later.
Okay.
So frustrating. All right. Let's get to our next sponsor, and that is Ready Pantry.
You want to talk about this?
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, let's go back to this. So we did have a little positive here that a U.S. airstrike in Iraq kills a Houthi commander, which just means that these gears are continuing to turn. All right, and they're going to continue to turn. So a U.S. airstrike near Baghdad on July 30th killed Houthi commander Hassan Abdullah Mastur al-Shabaab, who was training in Iranian-backed fighters in Iraq. The highlights cooperation among militant groups supported by Tehran, including Hezbollah and Kataib Hezbollah. The strike follows recent attacks on U.S. positions amid heightened tensions since the Israel-Hamas conflict began in October. Iraq officials criticized the U.S. action, warning it could undermine efforts against ISIS and destabilize the region. The region is not stabilized right now, so shut up. The Pentagon is preparing for potential Iranian retaliation. Well, you got it. Okay, you got it. This was July 30th. It is now August the 6th. That's the Iranian retaliation. 2 soldiers dead, multiple injuries. Here we go, folks. I mean, I'm sorry, it's coming, and it is absolutely, well, it's not coming, it's here. And if we have that, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can't help but wonder. Something like this always seems to happen whenever something political is going on. Whether something's going on with Hunter or with the Democrats or the Republicans on both sides, something always pops off somewhere else to take our attention away from what's going on on our domestic issues going on here in the States.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's total insanity, and beyond aggravating at this point. I can't say what I want to say, but you guys that wore uniform, or you people that know people that wore uniform, you already know what I want to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, before we get into Biden's lovely response to this, let's talk about Ready Pantry, because, guys, World War III is not, it's here, okay? It's here. And Ready Pantry, you really need to check this out, but we are excited to announce a new partnership with an incredible company that loves America and wants to see everyone prepared for this impending doom with Iran, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. Ready Pantry is a firm supporter of freedom, and they're helping families all across America fill their pantries with long-term food supply for disaster or any situations. Right now, they have water that can last up to 50 years. And everyone should keep a 3 to 6 month worth of expenses in their bank account. Well, Ready Pantry believes everyone should have at least 3 to 6 months of food in their pantry too. Make sure your pantry is ready for anything, whether it's a stock market crash or World War III. All you have to do is go to readypantry.com/Graham. Again, that is readypantry.com/Graham. Their food is awesome, by the way. Tastes great. So let's get to Biden's response to the attack on Iran, or attack by Iran. This was he was asked a question. A reporter said, "Hey, do you think Iran will stand down, sir?" And here's what he had to say.
President, do you think Iran will stand down? Do you think Iran will stand down, sir?
I hope so. We don't know.
President!
Why is he?
I
why is he,
hope so.
Why is he 8 foot tall,
know.
man? Look at him. Look at how tall he is.
Yeah,
Look
he
at-
did grow.
Dude, look at his legs. His legs
He's got to
look
be
like
wearing
like
some
tree limbs.
heel inserts or something.
Y'all, I can't anymore. Like I can't. I hope so. I don't know. That
Where's
is the
he-
commander in chief.
Where's
All
he
right, that
coming
is
out
some-
of an ice cream parlor?
Yeah, that is the
he had
commander in chief,
flowers.
the leader of the military, the head honcho of the military, saying, "Oh, I don't know. I hope so." And let's just look at the differences here between a Biden response versus a Trump response. So this was Donald Trump's response in 2018 when Iran threatened the United States. He said to the Iranian president, "Never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious."
This
That
guy,
right there, bro. And he knew the Iranian president was going to see that.
Yeah.
All right. So look at it this way. This wasn't a phone conversation. This is why this right here speaks mountains to me as a veteran and as a member of the military community. This speaks volumes because this could have been done over the phone. Hey, bro, step down, step out, or I'm going to mess you up. No. This is a global statement. So this wasn't just to the Iranian president at the time. Trump went to Twitter and said, yeah, the president of Iran can read this, but so can the leader of ISIS, the leader of the Taliban, North Korea, China. Y'all all can read this.
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is the only president to stop a war via Twitter.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, find
that's
another one.
insane.
Find another one. And let's not forget when he was sitting down with the head of the Taliban talking about going out. He said, if one American, you hurt one American gets hurt, and handed him a picture of his house. He said, I'm gonna take it to its foundation, and I don't care who's in it. I will kill you.
And we talked about this a few weeks ago, but I'll just bring it up again. I mean, why wouldn't a country like Iran strike now when we have a president who is potentially dead and all we're seeing is his body doubles? Why not strike at him right now? I mean,
That is honestly,
right now.
I have to say that unless the master plan that we've talked about for months. I mean, we've talked about it for months from my first time on the show in September of last year to now. We have just talked about this for months. And if the master plan has come together, then that's why they're doing it. I mean, we're basically broke at this point. I mean, we're still writing checks against a bank account that's been we're still writing checks to a bank account that's been negative for months. Like nobody does that except us. You know, nobody.
And the only way to fix this is to vote Trump back in there and have him swing that big stick again, man. Keep your money back.
And that's why I will tell you three, and in the chat especially, that's why I tell all of y'all that now is the time. Ammo, guns, body armor.
Oh, absolutely.
If you've never shot a gun, go to the range now. you're putting yourself in danger if you don't. Okay, learn tactical things, how to operate, little things, get some training, because let me tell you, people, with Iran attacking a military base right now, that tells me, strategically speaking, that the master plan is coming together. Okay, think of it this way: we're broke. We've given all of our stuff to either the Taliban when we left Afghanistan, billions of dollars worth of equipment there. Okay, we've given Patriot missile ammunition and guns and ammo, bullets and bombs to Ukraine for over a year now. All right, we're broke. We are more divided than we've ever been in the 41 years I've been alive. Okay, not to mention you have about 15 million people here that shouldn't be here. We have no idea where they came from. We have no idea what their name is. We have no idea what their intentions are. So I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've never seen America surrounded on every front like we are right now. We're not just surrounded by our enemies around the globe. We're surrounded here at home, folks. So
again, it's not like we're not warmongering. What we're doing is we're telling people, just be prepared. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And let's not forget that Biden was the one that financed Iran. He's the one that sent them all that money, and look what's happening. I mean, that is a weak leader that we're having to deal with now.
Absolutely not warmongering, guys. Not at all. I if anything, I'm scared for all of us. And I want all of you, because I don't just care about the people here in this studio and Graham and all of our families. There are 7,000 people watching us live on Rumble, another couple thousand on X. I care about you too. And from a military mind standpoint, I want you guys to be protected. I don't want to see none of y'all hurt. Okay? None of y'all. It's especially hurt because your head's not on a swivel and you think, oh, that won't happen to me. Yes, it can. And I'm not saying it will, but yes, it can. So get prepared, guys. Please get prepared.
Yep.
You guys always wonder, why are we doing these ads for Ready Pantry and for Birch Gold? It's because it's real and you actually need it.
100%.
There's a real reason. I mean, we're covering the news on everything that's happening every day, and it does not look good right now. Right?
Yes.
Things have to fall apart before you can fix it. And we're in the process of falling apart right now. And it's going to require you to be prepared, which should lead us into our last ad of the day, which is Birch Gold. If you want to go ahead and take that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and roll with Birch Gold. Let me find my ad here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about Birch Gold for over a year now. Okay. Listen, the economy's in shambles right now with the stock market crash. Guys, with war starting off, and I'm telling you, if a war kicks off right now, it's just going to get worse. Your money is going to be absolutely worthless at this point. Okay. It doesn't hurt anything for you guys to get on your cell phones right now and text 9898. Text the word Graham, Graham, to 989898 right now. Guys, they're going to send you a free info kit that's going to explain this entire process. They're going to call you, okay, and they're going to talk you through this. All right, guys, listen, if you don't have the money, the cash on hand, take your retirement before it becomes worthless. If you have a retirement plan, if you have something in stocks, this is the safest place for it to be. Guys, we show the gold graphics to you over and over and over. As the stock market is tanking, gold is continuing to go up. So please, for you, for your family, for your family's future, please text the word Graham, Graham, to 989898 now.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, it's scary. I mean, I got to be honest with y'all. Like, I wore a uniform for a long time. And now that I have taken it off, the time we're in right now is worried me more than any time during the war on terror. I'm more worried now than I was in 03, 04. I'm being honest with you. Because of the problem we have here at home. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's continue. And the funny part is, this is something Biden said in 2020. This little interview right here.
Oh, is that the cue to play it? Sorry, I thought you were going to keep going there.
It's
Play
like
that
awkward
video, buddy.
silence.
I
Sorry,
know.
I know you're
Sorry.
used to Graham saying, "Go ahead, roll the video."
Well,
Roll
there's a
it,
flow. There's a flow, man. All right, here
Yeah.
we go. Here we go.
The world has changed because of what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is, there's a lot at stake in this election. The world is...
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look who got us into war.
Yeah, exactly. And on another note, we don't have this article, but I just want to I want to light the candle for you. All right. So literally a couple hours after the report came out that the al-Assad in Iraq had been attacked, the Biden administration put this little lovely thing out that they're going to start restricting government employees from using plastic cutlery for climate change. Like you've got a stock market crashing at this point. You've got soldiers being killed overseas, and you're worried about a spork?
Spork.
Dude,
Spork.
get for real.
That is the state of our leadership right now, Todd. That is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's what he's interested in. It's like,
I mean, it's kind of
Like I'm
always this
smart.
way. It's kind of always this way. Doesn't matter what's going on. They're gonna argue about TikTok. They're gonna argue about plastic straws. They're gonna argue about things that are not relevant in the moment. Meanwhile, like we have a border crisis. We're being infiltrated, right? We're gonna be attacked from the inside, like you just talked about. We have wars happening. Our debt is skyrocketing because we're sending all of our money, all of our resources, right? We're depleted of military resources because we're sending it all overseas. Meanwhile, that's what they're putting at the front. And they're holding these events at the White House that are just pointless. Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Why are we
goodness.
doing it?
I
And that frustrates me more than a lot of things because it's such a waste of time and effort. We do not
100%.
have a lot of time to react to some of this stuff.
Yeah,
What
and
can
if you're-
happen like that?
And if you're worried now, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to get any better because, I mean, we got to talk about Kamala talking about how she's radical and woke, and you should be woke, and yes, I'm radical.
Before you move on to that, Todd, yesterday I had a conversation with one of my friends in Oregon, and I was talking to him, and I was like, can you see what's happening with the stock market? I mean, ever since Kamala said she was going to come out, blah, 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 like for the last 2 weeks, we've taken a real huge dive in the whole conflict going on with Iran and Israel. How could you not see what you voted for is what's happening, is what you guys voted for is what's happening to us now. And his defense was, no, well, you know, we inherited a bad administration from Trump, blah, 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 blah. It always goes back to we inherited blah, 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 blah. They never take accountability for what the Biden administration is doing to our country.
No,
it's so frustrating.
And I've said that a million times, that number one, you're either born a leader or you're not. And I'm sorry, people argue this with me all the time. Leadership is something that you don't learn to do. Like it's just not. Like you can have the characteristics but not be a leader. You're either born to be one or you're not. And the main part for me being a leader, and I have been a leader of men, is accepting and admitting your mistakes.
Exactly.
Like to stand in front of troops and say, guys, I butchered this. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought this was a good idea. I thought that this would work. It didn't. My bad. We will back up, punt, redo, and go again. That's not happening here. Like, and it's not going to. They're not going to own their mistakes. And I don't care what politician it is. I don't care what side of the aisle it's on. They're not going to do it. Nobody's going to stand in front of a microphone as a politician, as the leader of a country, and say, "Guys, America, I'm sorry, I screwed this up. I thought it would be better. It's not, and I'll own it, and I'll take responsibility for it."
Wouldn't that be a refreshing change?
Oh, dude,
came out
man.
and said, "I was wrong. I'm sorry." And,
Bro,
yeah.
I'm telling you, just to see anybody do it, I would just be like, got that person right there. I'd follow them anywhere. Whereas now we have a president that I wouldn't follow to the bathroom. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just being honest. And again, like I just said, it's not going to get any better. Help is not on the way. Like the Democratic Party has not thrown a candidate out there that can fix any of this stuff. It's just more of the same. You know, they say that life is this ugly thing that's just going to stomp on your throat when you're already down. Well, I mean, it looks like the Democrats are the same way, because now Kamala Lama is the nominee.
I would have to disagree with you 1 second there, Todd. Help is on the way if we get Trump back in there.
If we get the vote, bro.
Yep.
Like, we still got to win the election. And
Yep.
I mean, I agree with you here 100%, but the deck is stacked against us right now. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. You know, with stealing an election in 2020, that's right. Sure. I said it. You stole it. You know you stole it. You just got away with it. And what'll happen in like 2030, they'll admit it, because then it won't matter. Watch. It's coming, I promise. And when it does, if I'm still alive, anyway. So Kamala admits
2030, that's like 5 years away. I mean, I hope you're alive.
Well, maybe you never know, man. Look, I'm a brother. Shoulder surgeries, hip surgeries. I'm due for another accident. So,
oh my,
I am, man. I'm a walking like. Anyway.
Well, let's get into the fact that Kamala was kicked out of the Situation Room during all this.
That is.
Oh yeah.
That was going on.
This is, and we talked about this. We talked about this pre-show. I have an interesting theory here. So Kamala was kicked out of the Situation Room before the meeting even began. So, and let's play this.
We've got a sizable motorcade repositioning on Pennsylvania Avenue, so it's possible that it looks like I can see behind the camera. The vice president's vehicles are leaving right now, so it would seem that at least her part in the Situation Room is done. She will now go back to the Naval Observatory.
It was an intense moment for the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, and I was in almost every meeting with the president.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that the meeting's over in the Situation Room.
Correct. We've got a sizable motor.
Well, I mean, for me, that's not a confirmation that she was kicked out. Like that, be careful, Fox. Be careful. Look, I'm sorry. I call balls and strikes, and you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it, because that's not a confirmation for me. That's not. But my question is if Kamala was kicked out of the Situation Room before the meeting ended, I wonder if Hunter stayed. You think?
I think Hunter's the one who probably kicked her out. If that's the case,
he's probably the one with the stick.
Because he's the one calling the shots.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got to do this, and we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, and this. Yeah,
that was.
I mean, my question is, why would she leave early? I mean, she said she was there for her part, or somebody said she was there for her part, and then she left. If something's going on in the Situation Room with Iran and Israel and whatnot, why would you leave so quickly if they saw her motorcade take off?
What is her part?
Exactly.
What is her part? What was she there to do?
What has she done in 3.5 years?
Even better question.
Like, what has she done? That's my question. Like, what have you done? So if she got kicked out and she's mad, number one, what have you done in 3.5 years to even be sitting in the room to begin with?
What has she done in the last 3.5 years besides admit that she is radical?
Radical. Here you go.
Let's just play this.
Yeah, it's just.
And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
Right.
You're radical? Really? I didn't know this.
Like, she was voted like the most liberal radical senator when she was a senator. And I'm sorry, if you can Google this and just listen to her talk when she was a senator. She's a mouth-breathing oxygen thief.
My daughter the other day when she was listening to her, or I was listening to something on my phone, heard a video clip that I was listening about her, and my daughter was like, she's so cringe when she talks. Like, why did she?
It's like,
my favorite thing is to hear how she talks to different groups of people.
Oh, yeah,
it is different. Yeah. Like her in Atlanta, she comes to
Atlanta, she sounds like me. Like, you know, she goes to California, she sounds like a Valley girl in Saved by the Bell. You know, she goes to Detroit and she sounds like 50 Cent.
We in these streets, girl.
Like, bro.
That's what she said.
That cackle.
Quote for quote.
She's trying to talk while she's cackling.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick a language.
Yeah, she also says that we should all be woke, which again, not a shocker. Like, no way, this is coming from Kamala Harris. It's just entertaining. So
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah. You know.
Yeah,
the other two people there couldn't give two craps about what she was saying.
The blonde looked like she was like,
dude,
probably
like,
shouldn't have. Yeah, look at the blonde.
cringe.
She looks so uncomfortable right now. And listen, I'm trained to look at body language. Okay,
Yeah, look
her
at how
feet
she's
together
moving,
like that,
too.
her arms sitting there. She is extreme. No facial anything. She's just trying to remember to blink right now. That blonde is.
Yeah, but look
She
at
is
Kamala.
so uncomfortable.
Look at how she moves. It's so bizarre, and like the way she's just flailing around.
She was a prosecutor, correct? Was she a
Yeah.
prosecutor or something like that? I wonder if we could find any clips of her in the
district
court
attorney.
or something. Can you imagine her being in there saying, "Your Honor, my
Your
this person
Honor."
is guilty." She cackles the whole time.
She is
I don't
constantly
understand.
doing the spirit fingers, like constantly the spirit fingers.
So she does.
Spirit fingers. But
Cringe
anyway,
Kamala.
speaking of a decision that Kamala, the decision is in. It came in right as we were getting ready to go live. Timothy Walz, the governor of Minnesota, has been picked as Kamala's running mate.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow. I got to admit, I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it because that's not helping her cause in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And let's get into the why. Okay, so what's our first clip with Timothy?
This flag thing?
So, yeah, let's not forget who else is from Minnesota, or I'm sorry, claims to be from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar. If you remember, we showed you just a few weeks ago that the Somalian delegate, president, whatever, was at a rally in Minnesota saying that Ilhan cares about Somalia, doesn't care about the American people, cares about the Somalian people, not the American people, the American dream. So this is going on in this dude's state. Okay? I'm sorry. It's over. As soon as that happens, as soon as somebody gets on a political pedestal and says, subject A cares more about somebody from another country, they don't care about the American people, you're done if I'm the governor. It's over. You're out of here. Bye. Goodbye. Do you think that would happen on Ron DeSantis' watch? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. And so let's just play this video right here of him removing the state flag of Minnesota, and then we'll get into what the new flag it looks like and what it represents.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, don't forget that, bro.
There, that's better. All right, ready.
They think they're so funny. They think they're so
Yeah,
creative.
yeah. All right, so, and click on that image. Let's just look. You saw the flag. It's the star. Let's take a look. Here we go. That is just so much like the Somalian flag. I wonder why. I wonder why. So basically, the governor of Minnesota, Tim, has changed the Minnesota flag to reflect a terrorist sympathizer area of the world. Get out of here, dude. But hey, Kamala, I appreciate it. Thank you. Because I can't wait to see that debate. Like, if that happens between Walz and J.D. Vance, the world's going to be set on fire. Because, again, let's also remind the people at home that this is the same governor that allowed BLM to burn down half of his state and did nothing. No National Guard, no police, no nothing. There for about a, 2 to 3 week time period, there were areas in Minnesota that looked like a freaking third world country. And he just sitting back there waving his Somalian flag. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Wasn't he the governor also that allowed a city, I don't remember if it was Minneapolis or something, but to allow like the people to broadcast Islamic calls to prayer?
Yeah, calls to that they are allowed to do Islamic calls to prayer, but the Constitution does protect that as well.
No,
as much as I don't agree with that, and you're right, Tony, that is extremely radical
It
because
is radical. I mean, can you imagine if all the Christians
there you go
said
there you go.
Every Sunday is Sabbath, we're going to shut everything down in the whole state because we're Christian. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
they allow
look how much grief they give Chick-fil-A. Trying to
Yeah,
force
exactly.
Chick-fil-A to open up on Sunday, but no, we can
don't do
in the middle of the day.
Todd. Here's all I know. In the same,
sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That was pretty good, Todd.
It was accurate, but a little stretch. This guy is just another person who's coming out of nowhere that I have no idea who he is, just like Kamala did back in 2020. I didn't know who Kamala was. I didn't know who this guy was. But they're going to prop him up, and they're going to use him as a puppet again because he was able and willing. And it doesn't make sense to me why she's not going with someone who appeals to a broader audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. And the chat's
I don't know who this guy is.
No, well, I know him by his record. Like this is a governor. This is a governor that is for your child getting gender affirming care without your knowledge. Okay, this is a governor that is for illegals coming into the country and being able to vote. All right, and which I call the great replacement. I've said it time and time again. By God, if they can't get you to do what they want you to do, they'll just bring somebody over the border that will.
Speaking of the border, this guy
and really quick, I love you guys in the chat, and I know, look, Muslims are not the enemy. That's not what I'm saying. I will never say that. There's radicals in every religion. Let's move past it. I agree with you. Let's go.
Speaking of the border, Waltz claimed that he wants to invest in a ladder company to help illegals cross.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Great idea.
Great idea. Just climb Trump's border wall that American people spent millions on, and that's great. We should have the border wall. But this guy, just like the Biden-Harris administration, wants it open, wants to invest in a ladder company. So he says, this is who Kamala picked as her VP. Not only is he some no-named that none of my peers know, Trump's doing the right thing by going after my peers, people my age. Because like we said, we are the up-and-coming voters. We are the ones who can vote now and are being introduced to politics for the first time in our younger years. Okay, this guy, I don't think he helps Kamala at all, except he just feeds to the radical wokeism that she has.
Yeah, 100%. So let's watch this clip right here. This is great.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this. You stop this using electronics. You stop it using more border control agents. And you stop it by having a legal system that allows for that tradition of allowing folks to come here, just like my relatives did, to come here, be able to work and establish the American dream. He's not interested in that. He wants to demonize. Look, we produce most of the turkeys that you're going to eat in Thanksgiving. Those are immigrants working hard, establishing themselves here. What's he going to do? Is he going to take them all out?
We're not saying don't let them come in. Just let them come in legally. Let them be vetted and background checked. Don't open the gates. Don't invest in ladder companies to just let them come as they please.
Let me kill that. Let me kill that little opinion that Turd Ferguson had to say. Number one, with the thousands and thousands that are coming across the border, there's no electronic system made that can cover that many faces in that period of time. There's just not. All right. And the border is way too big, and there are tunnel systems under said border. There are too many problems to just throw manpower at it and throw technology at it. I'm sorry. A wall is the only way at this point. And I don't have a problem with people coming over here. I don't. Do it the legal way. Put your name in a raffle, fill out an application, get vetted. Most importantly, get vetted to prove that you're not a freaking terrorist or a cartel member or on the FBI, CIA most wanted list. Because we've already seen that countries in South America are just opening their jails saying, just go north. You get out, just go north. And they're all here. How many innocent American women have to be raped and murdered, How many children is it going to take that we find dead in a ditch or in a creek until we wake up and say enough's enough?
Good point, Todd. Good point. I have a statement and a question for you guys. Touching on your point, Todd, Waltz was probably the best pick that Kamala could have made against us because he's so radical when it comes to the border, and his whole state is just, yeah. My question is, do we still think that whoever the puppet master is, whether it be the Obamas, letting Harris pick whoever she wants to pick, which it looks like it's Waltz, do we still think that they're throwing in the towel with the White House? Because having a Harris and Waltz against Trump and Vance, I mean, it's not really a fight, man. I mean,
to me, on paper, and I've got a really good thing, especially you'll get this, Tony. On paper, this looks like a no-win situation for Kamala. Mm-hmm. It does. It looks like a no-win situation.
To us, to our side.
Unless they're going to cheat.
Yeah, exactly. But, Tony, on paper, the Dallas Cowboys have been great for a long time. On paper.
Went there. Oh.
Where's the lie?
True. No,
where's the lie?
True.
On paper, their roster, top to bottom, has been legit. How many playoff victories do they have? Yep. So, again, people ask us all the time, what do I do? I'm going to vote. What else can I do? Look, volunteer to go to the poll station and be a poll watcher. Like, I am this close to doing it myself, even though I know that the polling station is literally like a 1/10 of a mile that way, and it's a building as big as the shop that I'm in. And, gotta be honest, Mississippi's going to be red anyway. But that's how you do it. Like, if you live in a woke state, in a woke city, you need to be a poll watcher. You need to be there with a magnifying glass and binoculars going, checking everything. That's how you do it. That's how we have to do this. Yep. Like, we have to not just assume, we have to know that they're going to try to do everything they can to steal this election from Donald Trump and us. Yeah. And us. And more so now, if you don't want to get off your butt and do something, then, folks, can you imagine 4 years of radical woke admitting Kamala plus a dude that, like, literally let his state go? Can you imagine 4 years of that? We don't make it. People, we don't survive.
It is,
like, I'm sorry.
The worst looking presidential team I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
If we think right now that America looks weak because Joe Biden is at the helm, because Joe Biden is supposedly calling the shots, if you think America looks weak now, just wait. If this happens, it's almost guaranteed war. It's almost guaranteed that America is going to face something. Maybe not fall apart, because we're going to fight. We're going to fight, right? But we're going to face something really big if these two kooks get in office.
And I just have to be completely honest with all of you. If somehow they swing and pull this off, there will be a war on our turf, and abroad. And people are like, well, the U.S. Army and the U.S. military will join that fight. No, they won't, because they'll be across the pond fighting in World War III. Because if you think for 1 second that Iran doesn't respect Joe Biden, wait until a woman jumps in there.
Can I point out something really quick?
Please.
Yo.
Let's remember a few months ago, or however long ago it was, Russia sent submarines within 90 miles or whatever it was off the coast of Florida.
Testing the
Florida.
waters.
That's scary, right? To Cuba, which they have a base at or something like that, right? That's one coast. Okay. Not too long ago, a few weeks ago, they sent planes.
China.
It was
China and Russia.
Was it China or North? It was
both
Chinese
China and Russia.
China and Russia.
Yeah, jets. They are squaring us up, guys. They're not ready to attack yet,
sure.
But they are getting ready. They're feeling out both our coasts, and they're going to try something, right? If we let them, if we have someone in power who will allow it to happen, we let balloons under Joe Biden, Chinese balloons, fly all the way across our country. Yeah, we saw it in Montana, but you know what we did? It kept flying. More came. It kept flying.
True.
Yeah. We let that happen.
Very
They
good
are
point,
squaring
Roy.
us up right now.
100%. And I'm telling you, them dominoes have been falling for months. And the last domino is wobbling, and it's November the 5th. If that domino falls, we're in trouble. Iran is not going to respect Kamala in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They're not. They're not going to sit down and speak with her. They're not. They're not. Russia is not going to respect her. Our military is stretched so thin. Think of it like this. We just talked about it yesterday. $11 million deal between the ROC and the U.S. Army. They lost soldiers. They lost recruits. Lost. And if one of the most popular people in America cannot get folks to join the Army, I got nothing for you. I got nothing.
So I'm excited for the debate, though.
So, question before we end our show here: do you think if Trump gets back in office, do you think the numbers for the military will do a 180 and shift and get back to?
Not immediately, no. Not immediately, no. Because he's going to have to rebuild. Like all these woke commanders that, we've shown on the Navy ships doing Pride Day and making people, sit in. Those folks are going to have to go. And it's not, listen, the woke military is on the upper level, okay? Stars and above, all right? That's where the woke is. It's not coming down to folks like me and Graham that were NCOs. They're not biting on that. They're not. Okay, but they can't do anything about it or say anything because if you do, you're committing career suicide at that point. All right, they're going to hit you with so many regulations that you're going to get a big chicken dinner on your 214, which is bad conduct discharge for hate crimes or hate speech. So the sheepdogs are in cages right now.
But how do you get rid of the woke commanders
they're
and all the stars? I know they're appointed, but how does somebody like Trump get rid of them? What is he?
You unappoint them. You buy. Every adjutant general in all 50 states, that's an appointed position. You have the Secretary of the Army, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the Navy, Secretary of the Marine Corps, all Pentagon. Those are appointed positions. Once you start getting into stars, generals, it's not military as much as it is political. Okay. Now it might take him a while, but he can clean house. And when he does, those sheepdogs, those E7s that are NCOs and below that are in their cages because they can't say anything about what's going on, those doors of those cages are going to open up and the real sheepdogs are going to come out and you're going to see that 180 that you're talking about, Tony.
Gotcha.
A fundamental change.
Good explanation. Thank you, Todd. See, that's a little insider baseball for you guys there.
Boom, boom. All right. So before we get into the super questions of the day, we're going to go ahead and pray this thing out while we have all the people watching us now. So let's get into this. Father, Lord, we come to you with a heavy heart for a couple reasons. Number one is that we have U.S. military members that have been attacked in Iran. And Father, there's a possibility out there that a son or a daughter, a mother or a father, a brother or a sister is not going to come home. And Father, I just ask that you be with those families. You be with those families, Father, that you give them comfort, you give them strength to get through this trying time. And Father, we pray for Graham, that he's sick right now and he can't be with us as much as I know that he wants to be. And Father, that you just reach into that Allen household and that you just heal. Take that sickness away from him, his children, protect that baby, and Miss Alyssa, and you just get that away from them so we can get Graham back as soon as possible. Father, we love you. We thank you for everything that you do for us. We thank you for the great grace, the love, and the mercy that is fresh for us every single day. Lord, be with our country right now, even though we don't deserve it, that you be with our country and that you lead us into the next generation, hopefully. And we ask all of these things in your son's name. And all God's people said,
Amen.
All right. Here we go. From VS123 Freeman. Todd, where did you get your shirt and your Yahweh hats? I think you announced it on another episode a few months ago, but wasn't sure where to start looking. Art of Homage. It's a website called Art of Homage. HOMAGE. Yeah, Art of Homage. They got a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I spent a fortune. So yeah, that's where it's from. From Hot Seat Shock.
What?
Yeah,
All
fake
these
hot seat.
Everybody change their names to hot
fake
seat.
hot seat. Give me back my mic. Very funny, Shockwave. Very funny. Mark Zink at Mark Zink. Got you, Mark. Honest Patriot, Florida. Why are liberals so dumb? I've never seen people who make so many baseless claims without ever having supporting evidence. When you prove them wrong, they get angry and lash out like a little kid. Well, that's why. They were the kids when we were all younger that took their toys and went home. Or the kids that when you're playing, a video game with them,